Welcome, my name is Colleen Tauke and I'm a sewing specialist here at Fons & Porter. In this Sew Easy tutorial, I'm going to show you how you can easily piece the glorified 9-patch blocks. If you'd like to purchase the pattern for the quilt behind me, which is called Glorious, you can visit our website. Okay, let's go to the quilt and at least talk about what part of the quilt we're talking about. The glorified 9-patch is, this looks like a 9-patch here, but it has these extended corners and it has a wonderful curved seaming in this. So this is what we're talking about, how to put this together as we tackle our quilt. So what we've done is created varied 9-patch blocks. You can follow your pattern for how to create those, or simple piecing. And we've taken the template set that is called the glorified 9-patch, and we're using that then to cut down our varied 9-patch blocks into this perfect shape that we're going to be setting in to the kind of football shapes that go around the outside edge. So we have then created those with those curves all the way around. What we need to do is set in a melon shape or a football shape along one side here. What we need to do is use just a few pins. What we want to do is find the center of the 9-patch, so we're going to fold and just put a little crease for the center. And the same thing with the melon or the football shape, just a little crease so that we can match them one on top of the other. And I'm just going to put a little tiny pin bite here in right at about where the 1/4-inch seam is. This needs to be just a tiny little bite so that it kind of has a pivot yet to it. And we just want to take that little bite to hold the layers together. Now for positioning for actual sewing, I'm going to be flipping this over because I want to have this open curve, the smile shape, so that I can manipulate it back toward the ends of the melon. And I have marked each of the corners of my varied 9-patch that has been trimmed. I've gone in a 1/4 inch from each of the cut edges and put a dot. That's where my stitching needs to begin. I'm going to take that and force it over to the end of my melon. It's going to line up perfectly. That dot is going to be my starting point for my stitching here. And then I'm going to go to the other end and do the exact same thing. That dot where the 1/4 inch is, I'm going to take it to the other end of the melon. The cut edges align perfectly, but my starting point is that, or my ending point will be that dot on the other end. So this is what I have, which looks a little bit like a challenge, but because this is a fairly shallow curve, not a real tight curve, you should be able to walk it right out when you take it to the sewing machine. And what I mean by walking it out is that we put this under the sewing machine, set your machine for your 1/4 inch seaming, drop your presser foot, make sure that you can do a little tack stitch right where that dot is at the beginning of your seam. That just secures the beginning. One little stitch there. Then I'm going to remove the pin so I don't have to stitch over it. And using your best 1/4 inch seam, you're just going to go very slowly. This is not about speed at this point, it's about accuracy. So we just gently nudge that top layer onto the football shape, getting a 1/4 inch seam as we go along. Just momentarily stop, kind of straighten as you go. A lot of times we worry about tucks or pleats happening. If we just go slowly and work our way along, the shapes are engineered so that the seam allowances, or the seam lines, will actually be one on top of the other. So there is just the right amount of seam allowance left, and that you can nudge them so that you get that perfect match. Like I said, it's not your first couple, maybe, as I've taught before, I've done curve piecing, maybe your kindergarten block, so maybe you'll want to make a couple of practice blocks so that you get this technique down, but you just keep adjusting. So you get to the other end, get right up to that dot, do a little tack stitch there, cut your thread, and you've got your first seam accomplished. Press your foot up. And now, when we open this up, You can see, and I'm going to be pressing my seam allowances toward the melon shape. So we open it up. You see we have this nice, perfect, gentle curve all the way along like this. And you're putting it in a melon shape here, and you're also putting one, so you're putting on adjacent sides. Just put two together at the beginning on the number for the first row. Follow the diagram in your pattern for how to put this together. You make pieces that look like this. So we'll sub this one out by your second piece there. And you can see I've left the ends free to manipulate so that I can, that's 1/4 inch seam back. Here's a second piece. Now when you start to put your first row together, what you're going to be doing then is, I've got these kind of look like football helmets. You're going to be joining those together. So here is your next seam, and you make that whole entire row. I have one that's partially put together already with a large row. We're going to talk about row 2. Okay, so I've got the top row here assembled. You can see, move those out of the way. I need one of them to insert. And I've started on row 2, and what you see here is a wide open curve. Instead of trying to come in and just scallop and do that, I found it difficult to get nice intersections. So when I was trying to figure out a way to help you put this together when it gets to row 2, what I found that is, this is like a double row, a double melon. So you can put in 2 of these, one back to back, and have great success getting a nice curve, having those melon points come to a nice intersection. So you can create your own version of Glorious or any other version of a glorified 9-patch with ease. If you'd like to see more of our Sew Easy tutorials, please visit our website. Thanks for joining me today.